Hello everyone, this is Komati BJ working as an assistant professor of ECA department in R.M.K College of Engineering and Technology. And the subject we are dealing with is object oriented programming and its subject code is CS8392. Okay, and welcome to the lecture Inheritance and Interfaces. And in this lecture, we are going to see what are the different types of inheritance. And before saying what are the different types of inheritance, we'll just see a small example on how an inheritance example is written in Java. Okay. Hope you are clear with the definition of inheritance and also the syntax of inheritance, which we covered in the last lecture. If you have not seen the last lecture, try to see the last lecture, only then you'll get a continuation in this lecture. Okay. So moving on to this lecture. This is an example of inheritance. Okay. See, here you have class employee, which is a parent class. Okay. And inside this parent class, you're declaring some variable. And again, you're declaring another class called class programmer who extends the parent class employee. So here the class programmer is a child class, and this child class inherits. And how we'll use inheritance in Java? Using the extends keyword. Inherits which class? The parent class, which is called as employee. So are you able to follow the syntax here? We have a parent class, and inside the parent class we are declaring a variable, and then we have a child class, and the child class has its own variable of child class. Now we are writing the main method, and here, see here, we are creating an object for whom? We are creating an object for the child class. Why we are creating an object for child class? Because if we create an object for child class, we'll be able to access both the variable of the child class and also variable of the parent class, since the child class inherits all the variables and methods of the parent class using this extends keyword. So how to create an object? So the object syntax is class name, object name equal to new keyword and then constructor. This is the way you'll create an object. Am I right in Java? So what is the class name here? Programmer. So we are writing it as programmer, and the object name can be of your own interest. So they are assigning P here. So P, and then the new keyword is being used, and the new keywords helps you to create an object and allocates a memory. And then the constructor should be same as the class name included by parenthesis. Okay, so we have created an object, and after creating an object we are going to print the salary, that is this one, and then the bonus. So since we have created an object for the child class, you should use this object as reference in order to call the salary variable and also the bonus variable. It is not required to create a separate object for the parent class in order to call this salary variable. It is enough if you create an object for the child class. With the help of the object created for the child class, you'll be able to access both the salary and the bonus variables of both the child and the parent class. I hope you are able to understand it. So this is a common example on how you will write a program using inheritance in Java. Now what will be the output? So system.out.println programmer salary is, what is the programmer salary? 40,000. So you'll get an output as programmer salary is, programmer salary is 40,000. Okay, and then the bonus of programmer is what? 10,000. Bonus of programmer is 10,000. This will be your output. Okay. So next, moving on to the, so there are majorly 5 types of inheritance in Java, in which we are going to see these three first. Okay. The first one is single inheritance, and the second one is multi-level inheritance, and the third one is hierarchical inheritance. So what is single inheritance? What is single inheritance? Single inheritance means when the one class inherits a parent class, that is one child class inherits one parent class, that is called as single inheritance. Okay, let's consider this as your father and this as you. When you inherit your father, it is called as single inheritance. And coming on to multi-level inheritance, see here, here class B is inherited from class A. So class B is the child class of class A, where class A is the parent class, and class C is inherited from class B. So class C is the child of class B and grandchild of class A. Okay, so this is the grandparent class. I'm saying this for your reference, and this is the parent class, and this is the child class. Okay, so you will be able to access all the variables and methods by creating an object for class C, and you can access the class B variables and methods and also class A variables and methods. Okay, since you will have the character, that is this class C will have the characteristics of both class A and class B. Okay, and the next one is hierarchical inheritance. So in hierarchical inheritance, two derived classes are inherited from one base class, that is this is the parent and these two are siblings. Let us consider these two are siblings, and this is the sister class and this is the brother class. And one condition to note here is that this class B will be able to access only the variables and methods of class A variables, and it will not be able to access the variables and methods of class C variables. No, it can't. It can only access its own variables, and it can access the variables of class A and class B. Okay, whereas class C can access only the variables and methods of class A, and it cannot access the variables and methods of class B. So if you want to access another variables and methods of class B, you have to create a new object. Okay, you can understand it while seeing the program. So what are the types of inheritance here? Single inheritance, multi-level inheritance, and hierarchical inheritance. So in single inheritance, from a base class, one derived class is inherited. So that is called as single inheritance. Whereas in multi-level inheritance, you have parent class being derived, that is parent class being inherited for one base class, and from this base class and another derived class is being inherited. So you have a multi-level kind of inheritance. From class A, class B is inherited, and from class B, class C is inherited. And the class C, you'll be able to access the variables and methods of both class B and class A. And in hierarchical inheritance, you have one base class. From one base class, you are deriving two derived classes. Okay, so the class B will be able to access its own variables and methods, and class A will be able to inherit class B and class C. With the help of class A, you cannot access class B or class C. You will be able to access only class A objects and variables. But with the help of class B, you will be able to access both class A and class B variables, but not class C variables. So you should remember this in hierarchical inheritance. Okay, so class B will be able to access class B's methods and variables and class A's methods and variables. Okay, and class C will be able to access C's methods and variables and A's methods and variables. In class B, you cannot access C's methods or variables, and in class you cannot access B's methods or variables in hierarchical inheritance. Okay, so in this lecture you saw an example for a single inheritance and what are the different types of inheritance in Java. Okay, thank you so much.